point, Bad Boy had a concert at the Pond. And so at one point, Bad Boy had a concert at the Pond, and I guess at the after party, Puff came out with just a towel on, and there was a bunch of your homies there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who told you about that?
So
the homies?
No,
you read it somewhere?
Yeah, I got it somewhere.
Yeah, he came out with a towel on. I don't know what he said, but I know he came out with a towel on. You don't do that in front of, no fucking 50 Crips, 40 Crips like that, man. Goddamn, boy. Yeah, came out with a towel.
At the after party, Puff came out with just a towel on, and there was a bunch of your homies there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who told you about that? So the homies?
No,
you read it somewhere?
Yeah, I got it somewhere.
Yeah, he came out with a towel on. I don't know what he said, but I know he came out with a towel on. You don't do that in front of, no fucking 50 Crips, 40 Crips like that, man. Goddamn, boy. Yeah. I don't know.
So the first time Puffy mentions going after Pac and Suge, he did it after a show in Anaheim?
According to Keefe D.
Okay, can you take me through that?
Yeah, they were all at a show, and Keefe D and some of Puffy's people, a bunch of Southside Crips, were all at this hotel. And that's when, according to Keefe D, Puffy makes this kind of announcement that, that he needs some help in this situation, and kind of one thing led to another.
Okay, was Biggie there?
I don't know.
Okay, but it was just a bunch of Keefe D and his homies?
Yeah, because they were kind of tagging along, being part of the Bad Boy crew as they came to LA, because Puffy knew he already had friction with Suge. This was his territory, this was his backyard, and so he had to, align himself with his Crips because they had they were kind of the natural enemies of Suge Knight and people from.
So one day you get a call from Zip, and he asks you to meet him at Greenblatt's Deli?
Yeah.
And what happens there?
We go there, and what's her name? Angela Winbush. And what's his name? Mr. Pigs. He was all up there. We was up there eating and yelling and shit. Puff was a couple of girls from the hood and shit. And then he took me downstairs, just got to talking and shit. Yeah.
What happens at the second time he actually gets serious with Keefe D?
Well, the second time, I believe, was at Greenblatt's up on Sunset, and Keefe D says that Puffy pulled him aside, basically solicited his assistance to take care of Suge, and of course Tupac's name came up, and he was kind of added to the list, according to Keefe D, and that's when there was a kind of a very vague discussion over money, and next thing you know, Las Vegas happens.
Did he seem scared at all when he said that? What was his body language like?
He wasn't too scared. Shit, he was in LA. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
Did your brother ever go on tour with NWA?
He went on a few concerts with him, yeah.
Oh, okay. So your brother knew all of them and everything?
Yeah. He's the same age. And they was doing their little trades together, drug trades together.
You never went with them? You never wanted to roll with them or anything?
Man, I ain't no fucking, I don't do that.
Okay.
People want to roll with me. You know what I'm saying? I don't take a ride. I don't do that. I'm the star.
So you met Tupac a couple of times?
I've seen him a few times.
A few times?
I seen him at that party. He was with Puff at that party in Will Smith and Jada Pinkett they gave.
Oh, okay. You guys didn't talk or anything?
Nah. But the first time I ever seen him was in '89 at the Greek Theater. He was with Digital Underground.
Oh, okay.
And he was out there. He came up in like a diaper. I guess that was his little act. You know how they had put on that little bullshit? Dude put on that nose. He dead, do the dead, you know, that bullshit. And he came out after he smoked some weed with him. Nigga, we just paid $15 a ticket. You better be smoking weed with us, you know. One of my little homies clowned his ass about that. Like, yeah. And he had on that little diaper, nose ring, looked like Bam Bam. Then the next time we seen him was at, he was at the House of Blues. And that's when he had that song, Compton Long Beach and Rosecrans.
So what was that? How was that a diss towards Southside?
How was that a diss towards Southside?
Yeah. Because that's what you said in the book, that you thought it was a shot at you guys.
Yeah, we just asked him, what's that about? And then dude, Edie or Big Sight, one of them two, they like, one of them outlaw dudes, he was with him, he like, man, he just rapping. Somebody wrote that for him. You all right?
Did you think Tupac was dissing you guys with that?
Nah.
No?
Nah.
All right, well.
But that hit him up.
You thought he was talking about you guys at the end?
Yeah.
Where he was like, anybody who wants to be down with Bad Boy?
Yeah, whatever, yeah. Fuck him too. Yeah. But yeah, then I seen him on Sunset. We was it's like maybe like July '96. We was at the same club, House of Blues. And Shirley and him pulled up in the Rolls Royces, asked us to go to asked us what we was doing. Like, shit, this shit's over. He's like, let's go up to Paradise. That's what Shirley said. Let's go up to Paradise. Everything on me. Shit, we all jumped in our cars, followed him up there. Once we hit Hyatt in Santa Monica, somebody shot his Rolls Royce up.
We was outside this club called Paradise. It was across the street. Anybody know Club Paradise? It was a gas station right across the street from the club. We were standing at the gas station in a group of about 6 or 7 people. And these are some of the craziest dudes I ever known. These two dudes just walk right in. And usually when you got 6 or 7 dudes standing around in a circle, what you do? Walk around it. These two motherfuckers walk right through us, through the crowd. And turn around, and they started shooting. Once they got a few things, we look at them, like, what's wrong with these crazy motherfuckers? Now I'm on them, like, I'm step back, I'm figuring they about to do something, which they did. And those niggas as they walked past the crowd, they turned around and shot. None of us got hit. Well, a dude named Diamond, they hung around with this dude that Suge used to hang around named Big West, got shot in the leg. But they take off and run. My ass take off chasing them, popping rounds at these motherfuckers as they running. Suge jumps in the Rolls Royce, because Suge jumped and bunched her neck bone behind me. And they run somewhere and run in the alley. The whole time I'm just firing at these niggas. Pop, pop. Bunch of neck bone right behind me. Oh, they firing somewhere. Got shot in the leg. But they take off and run. My ass take off chasing them, popping rounds at these motherfuckers as they running.
That's impressive.
Suge jumps in the Rolls Royce, because Suge jumped and bunched her neck bone behind me. And they run somewhere and run in the alley. The whole time I'm firing at these niggas. Pow, pow, pow. And bunch her neck bone right behind me. Pow, they firing. Suge crazy ass in the Rolls Royce. I mean, this is a big old Rolls Royce. Come down that alley, driving crazy, come down the alley. Driving real crazy and shit. And he, because I guess by then he done got to his stash and all that. And he jumping out the car with his guns and stuff. And so that's what happened. But Suge car never got. But the way Suge was driving and all of that, you would have think it was something involved in the Rolls Royce, which it wasn't. Suge just driving real crazy, coming, be back up to his boys.
And shit. Like, damn. Like, fuck, man. fucked up for him that night. His little red, he had a red guy, but thing was laying in the street and everything. Somebody tried to get him that night. Like, damn. Sunset was ours before the game wasn't even started. Yeah. I heard that dude Bootsy called me a rat. I don't sit well with me. Bitch, you don't even know me. You be calling me no motherfucking rat, bitch. Little fucking ashy ass dude. I don't like that. You don't know me, bitch. And you don't know no fucking freeway. And you act like you fucking, what's the name, best friend?
Talk a lot. Not a lot of food.
So I'm a vet. You know. We went up on the side and, the concert at the 662 Club. So we go up there to the 662 Club. Wait about an hour. They didn't show up or nothing like that. So we was on our way home. Stopped and got some liquor. And stopped and got some liquor, so we...
There was two cars. There was a van in the white Cadillac, which was a rental from, I think, Long's Enterprise over by the airport. And Keefe D was originally in the van. But after they kind of had a little bit of difference of opinions of whether they should do this, Keefe D gets out of the van and gets into the Cadillac with Terrence, Trey, and Orlando. So there were two cars that originally went over towards the 6-2.
Stop at, not the liquor bar, but one of them liquor stores out there. You got some liquor and shit for to go party. Boom, we on our back.
Who all was in the car that night?
So you have in the back seat DeAndre Smith. He's sitting in the left passenger seat. And then you have Orlando on the right. And then in the front seat is Keefe D as a passenger. And then Terrence Brown is driving the Cadillac.
You get to Flamingo and Vegas Boulevard for to make that left. And we see this dude,
Smith. He's sitting in the left passenger seat. And then you have Orlando on the right. And then in the front seat is Keefe D as a passenger. And then Terrence Brown is driving the Cadillac.
You get to Flamingo and Vegas Boulevard for to make that left. And we see this dude, skinny man, Tupac.
With some girls yelling though?
And he was like, Tupac. He was hanging all out the window like he was in parade. Damn, and we like, there you go. Hit a U-turn. Hit that little gutter lane. Yeah. After that, boom. Dude, we went up on the side and boom. Made that right. It was over.
When you guys pulled up, you seen Shook. You looked Shook in his eyes?
Yeah.
What'd you feel at that time?
None.
And at what point does Keefe D give the gun to Orlando?
Just prior to actually pulling up, once they see the entourage going in the opposite direction, they make their U-turn as they're approaching that line of cars. That's when Keefe D hands up to the backseat. He knows that they're going to be on the left side of the vehicle, and he's going to have to shoot across the face of Terrence Brown.
Okay. Did he first try to give it to Terrence?
No, he first tried it to DeAndre Smith, who was in the back seat behind Terrence.
Or tomorrow. Are you going to come up now?
And then what happened?
Nice.
DeAndre Smith
You know,
was like,
Cooper and
I'm not
Muller,
the one who's going to be doing this. Orlando just grabbed the gun and proceeded to shoot.
You seen the first shot hit Shook?
Right, yeah, with the fear.
Yeah.
What did you think when you seen Shook?
I thought he was a goner. But yeah.
Somebody chased you guys and you still had some more shots were exchanged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure enough. I just get the car and everything.
After the shots are fired, The Cadillac takes off, and the girls looks like accidentally ended up following them as they were trying to get
I was up
out of the way of everything.
Last days.
Yeah, the girls are just like trying to get the fuck away from the chaos.
No,
You know, as the shooting ensues, they're not sure what's going on.
Tonight, we're back.
They just go
Outdoor
they go in
venue.
the direction that was seemed like the easiest escape route.
It's like
Nothing like intentional about it. They just happened to turn the same way that
that was good.
Right.
We
And then somebody,
that night.
somebody else from the Death Row entourage followed Keefe D too.
yeah, Lime Tree.
We did last night. So the night of the show, we stayed at a hotel. Just because the up there is crazy. There were 25,000 people. So I didn't want to deal with like parking, same traffic. So we had a hotel.
And they followed him.
Which
And how far did they follow
And
him?
then
Very short
spent the day like
distance. Once they
Saratoga
got around
and
the corner,
went
Cadillac
kayaking
was taking
on the lake
off.
over there.
They were seeing
The
fire
last
back
night we
in
stayed
their
the
direction.
campground.
And so they kind of just
Yeah,
back down.
it was great.
So you, at this point, you guys abandoned the car, got away from it, and stashed the gun in the bill, right?
Yeah, real well.
All right. And you guys went party. They take off. They go park the car, and did they stash the gun?
According to him,
Where did they stash the gun?
in a wheel well.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
take off walking. And he says they seen
Yesterday. Nice.
Tupac and them in the ambulance.
Well, an ambulance went by. Obviously, they can't see inside of it, so they're just
I think
assuming that
Lloyd
that's
thought
the timing would have been consistent with that being Tupac in the ambulance. So
Yeah, these are the kayaks.
it's their impression that that was the ambulance. It probably was.
So those are both better now.
Went to the room.
No, they're holding
Got back. Yeah.
They're hard.
I was walking into the room and stuff.
Pretty cool. Yeah, it's very cool line.
The feds showed all the surveillance cameras where he was following us everywhere.
Yeah, they're doing that now.
It was their impression that that was the ambulance, and it probably was.
Yeah.
Got back. Went to the room. Got back. Yeah. I was walking into the room and stuff. Boom.
We camped last night.
Yeah.
Did some hiking today.
The feds showed all the surveillance cameras where he was following us everywhere.
Spot
Picked us up, going to cars and all that shit.
And the book said you guys poured out liquor for Tupac.
No. I wouldn't pour that liquor down my throat.
It was
I don't pour no fucking liquor for that
heavy.
dude.
It took me probably 2
I
hours.
know my editor, my boy, he was a fan.
Yeah, we went for a hike.
All right. So you guys partied that night, and you guys didn't really talk about it. You said you thought he was alive though. You thought he would live through it.
Yeah, he had lived to it for 7 days.
Binoculars.
He might not even be fucking dead.
We're trying to get into a party.
You know what I'm saying? That's what everybody said. Shoot, saying that shit.
All right. So on your way home,
Did you hear him? You hear him all the time.
you guys at one point you guys get followed by a sheriff.
Birds. We're trying to like
Yeah,
watch the
so
birds, like
you know,
spot
kind of
different
sheriff.
ones.
About
Figure
10
out
hours.
what kind of they are.
So yeah, at one point you started talking to Baby Lay about what just happened.
What's that?
At one point you started talking to Orlando about what just happened, and you were telling
You
him
told
to
me
keep his
about
mouth
having
shut.
bird food in the house. Because you were saying I was
I told the whole car she keep that
everything
fucking mouth shut.
else.
Yeah.
So I'm a vet. It's just that,
So our nature and then all
that, like, that Greg Caden, that crooked shit he did,
yeah.
bullshit. You know what I'm saying? All the time he had a master plan for a game for himself, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he had like he bust me. You didn't bust me, dude. You know, FBI agents get my friends to bust me.
Okay. Oh yeah, I wanted to backtrack a little bit. What was it like when you guys were waiting that close
How
to
do they?
6
How do they all know?
What was it like?
Yeah.
We was just gonna
Was
get
it
ahead
quiet? Was everybody quiet, talking?
up. No, it was shit. We was just waiting on them. I was gonna, show my homeboy, man. Shit. We never had no fucking problems. You know what I'm saying? And he knew what I stand for. So I was gonna let them get a head up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would have happened if you guys didn't see Tupac that night? Would you just went back and tried to get the head on one-on-one fight?
We would have seen him. We would have ran into him eventually because Sunset was ours. Sunset was ours before the game even started.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keefe D mentions in the interview that he wanted Orlando and Tupac to fight one-on-one, and that's originally what they went to Club 662 for.
Again, this is just Keefe D elaborating on the story with the intention of providing some type of mitigation to the responsibility of it all. You know, and he's kind of talked himself into a corner when he confessed to begin with. And so now he's trying to do damage control with that. And he lost a lot of face with his crew in the South Side after they found out that he had thrown Orlando under the bus and that he cooperated with law enforcement. But now these years, he's just constantly trying to figure out a way to juggle it and manage it so that he doesn't look as bad as he did.
So when you guys pulled up, you thought you seen Tupac reach for a gun.
Owl,
Yeah.
Oscar.
Here's where Keefe D says, he looked shook in his eyes. And then he says in the book that Tupac reached for a gun, or he thought Tupac pulled a gun on him. Is there any truth to that?
It's ridiculous, and Keefe D knows it's ridiculous, and I think Keefe D is trying to, I think
I
he's
saw this guy in my yard.
thinks that if he can provide this kind of like,
Yeah.
Here's where Keefe D says, he looked shook in his eyes. And then he says in the book that Tupac reached for a gun,
Yeah.
or he thought Tupac pulled a gun on him. Is there any truth to that?
it's ridiculous, and Keefe D knows it's ridiculous, and I think Keefe D is trying to, I think he thinks that if he can provide this kind of idea that it's a self-defense situation, somehow that will mitigate his, not responsibility, but I think that Keefe D believes that if he gives their claim that should there ever be charges filed, he can make this idea that, hey, the guy was pulling a gun on us, and therefore we just, it's just this long after the fact look going, well, if I'm going to admit to this, I better figure out how to make it defensible.
Okay. So would this defense have anything in court?
The whole story is ridiculous, and he's waited. He had all his opportunities to say that that's what happened with us. Originally, that would have been the time to tell somebody that that was self-defense. Negate his.
Can you imagine if you're sitting in the chair
Not responsibility, but I think the Keefe D believes that if he gives there a possibility of a self-defense claim, that should there ever be charges filed, he can make this idea that, hey, the guy was pulling a gun on us, and therefore we just, it's just this long after the fact look going, well, I'm going to admit to this, I better figure out how to make it defensible. These years, he's figure out a way to juggle it and manage it so that he doesn't look as bad as he did. This is just Keefe D.
Sunset was ours before the game even started. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keefe D mentions in the interview that he wanted Orlando and Tupac to fight one-on-one, and that's originally what they went to Club 662 for.
Again, this is just Keefe D elaborating on the story with the intention of providing some type of mitigation to the responsibility of it all. And he's kind of talked himself into a corner when he confessed to begin with. And so now he's trying to do damage control with that. And he lost a lot of face with his crew in the South Side after they found out that he had thrown Orlando under the bus, that he, cooperated with law enforcement. And so now these years, he's just constantly trying to figure out a way to juggle it and manage it so that he doesn't look as bad as he did.
So when you guys pulled up, you thought you seen Tupac reach for a gun.
Yeah.
Here's where Keefe D says, he looked shook in his eyes. And then he says in the book that Tupac reached for a gun, or he thought Tupac pulled a gun on him. Is there any truth to that?
It's ridiculous, and Keefe D knows it's ridiculous, and I think Keefe D is trying to, I think he thinks that if he can provide this kind of idea that it's a self-defense situation, somehow that will mitigate his, not responsibility, but I think that Keefe D believes that if he gives there a possibility of a self-defense claim, that should there ever be charges filed, he can make this, this idea that, hey, the guy was pulling a gun on us, and therefore we just, it's just this long after the fact look going, well, if I'm going to admit to this, I better figure out how to make it defensible.
Okay. So, would this defense have anything in court?
The whole story is ridiculous, and he's waited. He had all his opportunities to say that that's what happened with us. Originally, that would have been the time to tell somebody that, yeah, it was self-defense. Tupac pulled a gun. If he's going to make that claim, it should have been made at the time that we interviewed him. And of course, Tupac wasn't pulling a gun on anybody. He got completely caught off guard. And so it's Keefe D doing what he does. He keeps switching up his story because he's trying to figure out how to stay above in front of this whole thing.
On your way to the liquor store, someone said Suge had dirty cops.
What's that? Yeah. Everybody know that. And he had them. Cause we seen him at the fucking, when we went to the fucking video shoot. Sitting there with them right way fucking production security jackets on.
What was your reaction when you heard the guy say that?
What's that?
What was your reaction when you heard the guy say that?
Oh, I knew. Everybody know. The fucking whole town knew that he got them on. You know what I'm saying? Buying them all red cars and shit. They beat us to the clubs. But this motherfucker, know what I didn't like? He the only one really knew me out of his crew. And he told the fucking people, Keefe D nephew. You know what I'm saying? That was in the fucking next paper the next day. Why the fuck would you say my name, bitch? He said that the next day, and he said that in the Source magazine. That's the right people. Ooh. Act like he ain't saying nothing, but that mother would have been saying shit the first day. He told his crooked cop friends, then they sick the they couldn't get us. They couldn't get me, so they sick the FBI on me downtown. Shit ain't right, man. Punk ass cops beating us to the fucking clubs. Y'all need to stay the fucking police, or, moonlighting on both sides of the field. That shit ain't right, man. You know what I'm saying? Shit that they had going on, that shit dirty. You know what I'm saying? Be a police or a fucking gangster. Be at home with your fucking wife. Don't try to be at the fucking club with us. You know what I'm saying? Fucking cops. There before us, Suge cops. And he telling them motherfuckers everything. You know what I'm saying? That shit is wrong. The dude's a college student. He never was no fucking street dude, man. I guess he don't know the fucking street code. You don't hire no fucking police, you know what I'm saying? People like, he did that shit smart. Hell no. Some bullshit. Then they sick the fucking people downtown on me.
So when you guys got home, everybody was asking you what happened. So everybody kind of already knew knew that something happened?
I didn't tell a soul.
So you guys had to get the Cadillac painted and patched up and everything from the bullet holes?
And we took it back to the rental car place.
Was Orlando injured during the fight?
What's that?
Was Orlando injured during the fight?
Yeah.
Did he have to go to the hospital?
Yeah.
His shoulder?
Shoulder, yeah. Kicked his shoulder out of place.
Okay. Does anybody know what happened to the gun?
What's going on, y'all? 21 Gun Salute. Still the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever gonna be. Shout out to the wrench gangs behind the scenes that's sending me great info through the emails. Real quick, the Keefe D story, I just want to touch on basis with this Keefe D story real quick, and then I'm gonna continue on with the live. Now, this Keefe D story, the more I listen to his interviews and his stories, and we match things up with the facts, I hear another debunk. You hear me? There's another debunk in his story, and with the facts, what Detective Brent Becker was saying is different from his narrative, what he said happened. And those are the things how I know he had made up the story. I would love to hear the interview from the beginning. The whole Keefe interview confession, I would love to hear it from the beginning and see the tape, what they got. Like, all right, if it wasn't made up, let's see it from the beginning. Him walking in the precinct, no script in his hand, no script in his back pocket, etc., etc. Okay, moving right along. Now, this whole situation with Norris Anderson, before the last season came to an end, we in season 2, and right, might as well say season 2. Before I end season 1, we was talking about Norris Anderson in this document I had published, according to Billboard, that Norris Anderson and Orlando Anderson were actually first cousins. And it was a big mystery for the last 30 years. Is there a connection between Orlando Anderson and Norris Anderson? And it makes more sense that they're related. There's no coincidence when it comes to the Tupac case. I mean, it's just no coincidence. What is the coincidence that here's a guy that Suge Knight gave $60K to after an alleged beatdown, where the guy Suge beat down and the guy in the camera, all right, let me rephrase that. The guy that Death Row packed out, jumped, or was in a brawl with, he doesn't match the description of Orlando Anderson and what he was wearing the day of. It just don't match, right? But moving right along, that's another scenario. This scenario is the mystery of Suge's brother-in-law, Norris Anderson. It was alleged on this same document you're looking at, it was alleged that this guy, Norris Anderson, right? Only, again, hey, shout out to Monterio, Wrench Gang. He did his deep dive, he did his work, and he found Suge Knight's stepbrother, or brother-in-law, not stepbrother, his brother-in-law that was married to his sister Karen. According to Reggie, I played a lot of audio earlier in the live today, and Reggie, he confirmed a lot that was online. Like, Reggie confirmed, according to this document, Reggie confirmed that Norris Anderson was actually working as a receptionist in Death Row on some secretary shit, right? A few documents online, they say no, they was not related. But according to Billboard, when I say related, Orlando Anderson and Norris Anderson, they are first cousins, according to Billboard. So what we're saying is, okay, check this out. Because Orlando Anderson is dead. He's not going to say anything. Norris Anderson, he's dead. He's not going to say anything, right? All we have is what Reggie left us on audio, what Suge Knight left us on audio, what and Afeni Shakur, rest in peace, Mama Afeni, because Norris Anderson, his name was also mentioned in a lot of the lawsuits, right? So here we have a guy that Low MB from OFTB said, hey, look, after the shooting, Kadafi said, Low, the funny thing is, the dude looked just like you. He started blasting. According to this document, and I'm not saying he was the shooter, I'm just saying this is what Low MB from OFTB said, that Kadafi told him in the UMC, Low, the funny thing is, Ninja, he looked just like you, and he started blasting. According to Billboard, Norris Anderson was also in the Cadillac. I don't know what happened, why he got kicked out of the story, but according to Billboard, Norris Anderson was in a Cadillac. And that's why I did the deep dive, and this is where we at. So according to Low MB, I did the topic earlier, the guy looked just like him who started blasting. Norris Anderson looked just like him, but to me, this is why we got this thumbnail. I said, wait a minute. You got David Mack, Raphael Perez, and Norris Anderson. All three of these ninjas look like Low MB. Right? Somebody commented and said, yo, Norris Anderson looked like a biatch in the face. He matched the description. It's crazy. Right? I don't believe the Keefe D. I never believed it. In the first season of Discretion, I've never believed Keefe D, Terrence Brown, Orlando Anderson, Big Dre. I never believed that theory. It's just, according to Kadafi, Orlando Anderson doesn't match the description. Right? So, thank God that I stood on all 10, and I'm not here to force anybody to believe my narrative, your narrative, or whatever you want to proclaim, right? The facts of the matter is, Norris Anderson, Afeni Shakur had him in that paperwork of robbing Suge Knight. I believe, and I'm going to stand on it, and I left off last season, I believe none of this could have went down if Suge Knight didn't orchestrate and ask to get rid of Tupac. Yeah, I see it. I see the body doubles. Yeah, I see the body doubles. Shit, I found the airport across the street. I right from the MGM. Look, I definitely gave the body double and the helicopter theory. The body double theory and the helicopter theory, I definitely gave it a safe haven zone, right? But when it comes to all that missing money, Sharitha Knight was with them scheming ass bitches at, David Kenner, somebody, I don't know, somebody leaving comments, they acting real weird in the comments, talking about, it wasn't Suge Knight, it was his accountants, and Ninja, please. Okay? Y'all love Suge Knight so much, y'all stand in front of his bullets. You feel me? Y'all stand in front of his fucking, his accusations of robbing Tupac. Okay, so what about his wife? You feel me? Niggas say, oh, Sugar. Okay, well, what about his wife? Her name, Sharitha Knight, is all in the documents. with them scheming ass bitches at? Right? Like, come on. Yeah, I believe in the. I see the body double. I see ninjas don't look like Pac. I see it. I see it. But there's just too much money for me to give these ninjas that much safe haven zone. So shout out to you if you believe Suge ain't had nothing to do with it. But none of this could have went down without Suge okaying any of it, if that makes sense. None of it. It's just too much money missing. And then this ninja Suge, what he did, he sued Tupac for 7.1 million. Was that the accountants too? Right? Sharita Knight wasn't on the lawsuit. David Kenner wasn't on that lawsuit. It was a Suge Knight and the estate. Everybody was after the estate. Orlando Anderson, he was after the estate. Right? So that tells me that was all their plots and schemes to try to rob Tupac estate. Come on. That was first season. That was a reminder of the first season. You hear me? There is no way. No way. Bro, that was just too much money. Yo, I gotta transfer all those documents to this device. I wanted to show the lawsuit documents. What the fuck? This has got certain. What the fuck? Wow. This has got certain shit. It should have some documents available for you guys. What is this? Tupac did not personally pay Sharita Knight's American Express bill. Come on. Rather, her card was tied directly to a corporate account funded by Death Row because Pac was the label's biggest revenue generator. Y'all see that? Talking about it's not Suge Knight. There you go. Yeah, so this is why I believe. Here's another document. Yeah, this is why I believe Suge wanted Pac out himself. And that $1 million hit that Puff allegedly had, that $1 million bag, that was nothing compared to Suge's 7.1 million lawsuit. Come on, somebody. We adding up the numbers now. I'm not convincing nobody. I'm just trying to tell you where we left off last season. You feel me? It was just too much money to ignore. So now with this document saying that Orlando Anderson and Norris Anderson was related, it kind of makes sense, and it was easier to give Orlando Anderson the $60K. Somebody got to say, okay, if Suge had nothing to do with anything, why pay Orlando $60,000, bro? Like, can we be for real? Can we be for real? If he had nothing to do with the setup of Pac, why would he give Orlando Anderson $60,000 on anything, for anything, bro, for anything, right? So, according to Reggie, he lied and said, oh, he gave him the $60,000 because he was going to sue Tupac and a bunch of lawsuits. And no, it was not. And Keefe D, this interview, this audio I'm going to play, well, I was playing the Keefe D audio. I've been playing all night. Keefe D already debunked that theory that they was going to pay Orlando. Keefe D debunked the theory that they paid Orlando Anderson this $60K because he was planning to sue and he had a lawsuit and all that. According to Keefe D, that's a lie. That's all bullshit, pork butt. All right, let's get back to this audio real quick.
Everything from the bullet holes.
Oh yeah, I was gonna debunk. Okay, let me debunk. I got a debunk. I got a debunk. Okay. This is a debunk for you guys here. Okay, so Keefe D said, this is how I know he made it all up. He said he got the Cadillac fixed. And he got the Cadillac fixed and patched it up and all that. According to Brent Becker, the car they showed him wasn't fixed 2 years ago. 2 years after the shooting in Vegas. According to Brent Becker, and when you search online, the Cadillac was never fixed. Well, let me rephrase that. The Cadillac was never found. They never found the Cadillac, and so Keefe D tells the story that he got it fixed. That's like, okay, dude, what really happened to that car? Michael Carlin said that it was found in the desert somewhere in California. Like, what happened to the car? Yo, it's just one car. The amount of stories we heard in the last 30 years about this Cadillac is ridiculous. And there's only one, guess what? There's only one person that wow. There's only one person that really got their hand caught in the cookie jar with a bogus Cadillac was Reggie Wright Jr. Hold on. Somebody said Kevin Gaines. And this is talking about a Cadillac real quick. Right? Let's get a Cadillac up on the screen. And I want to show y'all in the last season. Do we still have? Do we still have that photo? The ultimate deep dive. We still talking about Cadillac. So I found it on some funny shit. There you go. Hey, Reg, pork butt. Oink, oink. Bro, this car right here in Tupac's video, Unconditional Love, this right here, I believe this is the Cadillac. I believe Reggie Wright Jr., he had... Can I get a lifeline? What year was Tupac's Unconditional Love video released? I believe this is the Cadillac. And see, Suge already told me that he had connections in one of his cars. It was a 4-door and they turned it to a 2-door, if I'm not mistaken. Or they had whoever Suge knew, he leaked it, and his attorney Jasmine Mines, that phone call is recorded, was on there, and he said, listen, his peoples, they turned a 4-door into a 2-door, right? So regardless of what, on that 911 tape, they said, listen, that was according to the Tupac's Vegas 911 tape, the witnesses saw a 2-door Cadillac. It was never a four-door. All of a sudden, it was a four-door. In the original 911 tape, it was a two-door. So what I'm saying is, I forgot. I think Man versus Machine, no puff on the replay. I forgot his handle. I gotta check Facebook because that's where they showed me originally this picture. What I'm saying is, Reggie Wright Jr. was the only one with access to this Cadillac. Where is this Cadillac? It's not a normal Cadillac. This Cadillac was converted into, you feel me? It was gutted red. It looks like they even cut the top off and made it a convertible. When you watch the Unconditional Love video in the beginning, I believe, no, not that. I think, damn, there was a video that they was driving and dissing Dre. But anyways, I don't want to go too much in the deep dive. I just wanted to show y'all. And I looked up on this picture. So God loves y'all. Right? There's a missing Cadillac. And what I'm saying is, could this be the Cadillac? I believe so. Because why would Reggie Wright Jr. show this in the Unconditional Love video? I believe that audit, and look, Pyru, the female, she's dressed like she Pyru. Drop comments below. And in this video, they was asking if Tupac dead or not. Drop comments below. Yes, sir. And as we continue on,
What's on what happened?
Yeah. I guess he don't know the fucking street code. But Phil, that shit ain't right, man. You know what I'm saying? Shit that they had going on, that shit fucking next paper the next day. Why the fuck would you say my name, bitch? You know? He said that the next day, and he said that in the Source magazine. Yo, that's the right people. Act like he ain't saying nothing, but that motherfucker been saying shit for the first day. He told his crooked cop friends that then they sicked they couldn't get us. They couldn't get me, so they sicked the FBI on me downtown. Shit ain't right, man. Punk ass cops beating us to the fucking clubs. Y'all need to stay the fucking police, or moonlighting on both sides of the field. That shit ain't right, man. You know what I'm saying? Shit that they had going on, that shit dirty. You know what I'm saying? Be a police or a fucking gangster. Be at home with your fucking wife. Don't try to be at the fucking club with us. You know what I'm saying? Fucking cops. There before us, Suge cops. And he telling them motherfuckers everything. You know what I'm saying? That shit is wrong. The dude's a college student. He never was no fucking street dude, man. I guess he don't know the fucking street code. He don't hire no fucking police, you know what I'm saying? Be like, he did that shit smart. Hell no. It's bullshit. Then they sick the fucking people downtown.
So when you guys got home, everybody was asking you what happened. So everybody kind of already knew what happened, knew that something happened?
I didn't tell her so.
So you guys had to get the Cadillac painted and patched up and everything from the bullet holes?
And we took it back to the rental car place.
Was Orlando injured during the fight?
What's that?
Was Orlando injured during the fight?
Yeah.
Did he have to go to the hospital?
I didn't tell her so.
So you guys had to get the Cadillac painted and patched up and everything from the bullet holes?
And we took it back to the rental car place.
Was Orlando injured during the fight?
What's that?
Was Orlando injured during the fight?
Yeah.
Did he have to go to the hospital?
Yeah.
His shoulder?
Shoulder, yeah. Kicked his shoulder out of place.
Okay. Does anybody know what happened to the gun?
No, not for sure. Nobody knows exactly what happened to them.
What happened at Keefe D? Did you say they went back? What happened when they went back to the white Cadillac?
Keefe D didn't go back to the white Cadillac. He went home by other means. So the white Cadillac and the gun was monitored or handled by the rest of the crew. So Keefe D wouldn't have had any direct knowledge of what happened unless he heard from those guys. And he didn't disclose to us what happened.
Do you know what they thought happened to Tupac? Do you know if they thought Tupac was dead at the time? Well, you know anything about their conversations afterwards?
No, Keefe D told us that he thought Suge had been shot in the head. And so his impression, likely, at least in that immediate aftermath, he would have thought that, somebody gets shot in the head. Typically that's a mortal wound. So, the next day, of course, the reports start coming out on the news about Tupac being in the hospital in critical condition. So they would have known as soon as the reports came out that he wasn't dead. I don't know what they thought as far as the shooting. Obviously, Orlando laid down some fire. How many times he shot Tupac, he wouldn't have probably known. But he probably would have known that he hit him.
How did so many people find out what happened so quick?
The news. MTV news with that man, Mike Lapkin.
They were talking about you guys?
Shit, they evidently Suge said Keefe D nephew. People didn't know me. Keefe D nephew. Suge told him that. Yeah, then he called me a rat. Oh, bitch, you been ratting. Oh, yeah. Been ratting. You hired the police. Oh, man. You just did this shit all wrong, buddy.
It's your Connect left town. Your Connect got mad at you.
No, that Monday, he called me and told me to meet him at dog. Shit,
Okay, y'all here? So, Keefe D nephew, give me some thumbs up if y'all still rocking with me. They try to zap me. They trying to zap the live. Give me some thumbs up if y'all still here, if y'all still rocking out with me. .21 gun salute. Okay,
Women's marches were happening.
So pork butt, it seems. Give me some thumbs up. Let me know. Wrench Gang, y'all still here? Okay, Catherine. Okay, thank you. Okay, so it seems Reggie broke his silence. It seems Reggie broke his silence on Keefe D's attorney blaming him for what's going on. Let's hear what's going on real quick. 21 gun salute.
Night, man. Let's talk about Suge Knight and SK. She the blow up toy, your girl.
Oh, the blow up toy.
Not a red. She
Send me stuff. I don't really go on anybody's page, to be honest, but Rodney and Melissa and Bomb first.
This is Vegas key witness.
Okay, glad I go on this and maybe no jumper. Okay. but I don't watch everything, and so but people always sending me stuff. And they were sending me Texas. And she talking about him and confirming everything I was saying that she was saying.
I didn't know Pork Butt was such a gossiper. Let's move him forward. I don't want to hear about Suge Knight and his female associates. This is not that type of chance.
Girls that mess with us that were our age was wrong.
Let's hear what this fool got to say.
okay, thank you. I was thinking the same thing.
This nigga got a green card.
Do 2 jobs. Yeah. I would not be still on that. still talking like that over jail phones?
Right.
You know?
I know. I don't understand.
That's criminal. And he was supposed to be an OG.
For them to go and see it and for it to play out.
Too. I mean,
Yeah.
not
Okay, this plan A. Well, this plan B.
yeah, you can't do that. So, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, if Keefe D takes if he takes an offer, I mean, that's great for Reggie because then there's absolutely, I mean, all those.
I wanted to go. I wanted to go to trial. I want this to play out so people, there's some people that still believe things and all of that. But most, it's nutcases that believe this still.
Yeah.
But there's still some nutcases out there.
No,
And then for them to go and see it and for it to play out.
yeah.
But, I would like to see it to play out. So people can see all the things that they think they know. There's a lot of stuff that hasn't leaked from the Vegas PD. It's just all these YouTubers and everybody think they got little pieces of dabs of information that they think is all factual stuff. But trust me, those people got stuff.
Yeah.
It's like people just found out about the audio that was released. Were he bragging about it to the new filmmakers and stuff.
How is he bragging about it, Park, but to the new filmmakers? They are paying him for what he already told. That's not bragging. That's how desperate y'all are for content. Y'all niggas is dirt. This ninja got a documentary deal. Pork butt mad. Nobody giving him no deals. Nobody's buying his book.
From the Vegas PD. It's just all these YouTubers and everybody think they got little pieces of dabs of information that they think is all factual stuff. But trust me, those people got stuff.
Yeah.
It's like people just found out about the audio that was released. Were he bragging about it to the new filmmakers and stuff?
Yeah.
Why is he still talking like that over jail phones?
Right.
You know?
I know. I don't understand.
That's criminal. And he was supposed to be an OG. Seriously.
But to my point, I would play into that. My whole thing would be, we know he's crazy. That's why he's doing this, because he's crazy.
Yeah.
He himself to say it is a lie.
As a Pac fan, I don't want that defense. I don't want him to act.
You really want to hear though.
No.
I don't think it would go anyways. I mean, I don't think, I don't think that he would get away with it.
No jury would,
Yeah.
But as a friend to Reggie, I want this to play out that way. After everything is done, the gato, the joke, no joke, everybody else has nothing to say.
I agree.
They're going to move on to the Biggie thing then. They're going to just make it about the Biggie thing. RJ Bond and all of them, they just all going to move to the Biggie thing.
That is true.
Yeah,
So all the content, but Reggie right.
the gato don't talk about Biggie like that. So if the Tupac thing stop, he's done.
Well, I mean, he'll just move on to Biggie.
They just move on to Biggie.
Yeah, if it's against Reggie, he'll find whatever he can find out. I mean, he can, or whatever he thinks he knows.
They got 3,000 loyal followers that hates Reggie Wright.
Yeah.
And they gonna support it. And they don't want to get a job. They don't want to go and be a nurse and be a social worker. They want to go and sit up and talk about Reggie Wright all day.
Platinum selling artists.
So, okay, the social worker in me wants to know though, Reg, has this affected you and your family, hearing all this stuff all the time?
This is bullshit. Nobody cares, Park, but about you and your freaking family. Seriously. What about Pac family? This shit is dirt.
Studio, and then he was hearing Sean yelling at Snow.
They had this other young lady that had a rich boyfriend. And they used to look out for her a lot.
So she was in pain.
Yeah, at that point, well, he was getting paid a lot, so it was just fine for somebody to get paid back.
Wow.
Because He have taken care of a lot of households.
Yeah.
That's right. So we had Kevin James on here, and he said one day he was on a studio and he was hearing Sean yelling at Snow.
The radio.
Ninjas is dirt. Oh man, this ninja. It's like this ninja feel like he got away with it. Like this is just bad. It's just bad. It's just bad. This shit is like the whole politics of it. This shit is crazy, Port. But your time will come though. Ninja said RJ Pork Shoulder gonna move right to the Biggie shit. Y'all niggas is dirt.
On Lincoln, Suburban and please. Suburban and El Segundo.
And asked if that was you guys.
Yeah.
And you didn't say anything. So this fucked up your money for a while.
Yeah, but he had some workers out here. They came and reached out.
Oh, okay. And that Monday you also met with Zip on Melrose. Tough call.
Yeah.
And asked if that was you guys.
Yeah.
And you didn't say anything.
I didn't say nothing.
So at this point, they get back from Vegas, and Monday comes around, and Puffy calls. I believe Zip on Monday, and then meet up.
Keefe D said the following day. So if the fight was Saturday night, it could have been in the afternoon of Sunday, or maybe Monday.
Okay. And can you take me through that?
Yeah, he says they're at the wing spot up on Melrose, and he's with Zip, and the phone rings, and it's Puffy on the other end of the line, and he asks the question, was that us?
And what did he say anything?
Well, who, Keefe D?
Yeah.
Talking to Puffy? Yeah, he affirmed it. Yeah, that was us.
All right. It also said Faith called Zip at that time.
Yeah.
Did Biggie ever know anything, or was he? Did you ever hear about him knowing anything or anything?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of.
In his book, he says Faith called Zip right before Puffy called.
Okay.
Is there anything to that?
No, except that, Faith understood the dynamics of all of these relationships. Faith knew that Zip, she was close with Zip, obviously. And when she would come to LA and these gangsters would be around, Zip would tell her, these guys are just here kind of, don't worry about them, they're just here as basically security or part of the crew. So it would have been natural for her to draw the conclusion after seeing hearing about what happened in Vegas that it had something to do with that.
Okay.
So she, out of curiosity, may have called and just been like, what the fuck, what's happening?
Is there any proof that Biggie knew anything about what was going on?
There's none. So people can speculate, and maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but we don't have any proof one way or the other.
So now at this point, a war breaks out in Compton. I don't know how accurate this is, but it says 12 shooting incidents and 3 people were killed. And it says that there was that the Bloods were offering $10,000 for every Southside Crip killed.
I heard that, but the top dudes was they was asking for 100. Like me, my brother, and this dude Corey. Said Corey came over and told us that C-Ray. And got $100,000 hit out on us. I'm like, what? I said, where you get that fucking shit from? You know what I'm saying? And he said, I'm telling you, dog. I said, well, tell that motherfucker we gonna hit him for free. It ain't gonna cost him a dime to get him hit.
At this point, they're back, and now a war breaks out in Compton. Was there bounties put out on Southside Crips?
No, I don't know. Not that I'm aware of. I mean, it's just, you don't need to put a bounty out there to declare war on your enemies. I mean, this is just natural reactions to these type of situations within the gang world. You have somebody assaulted or beaten or shot or whatever. and your crew's involved, well, you're going to retaliate against the people that you believe did it. You don't have to offer money or, some type of reward for doing what you were supposed to be doing to begin with as a gang member.
Right. Yeah, that's just what Keefe said. The Suge put a bounty on him, or they had put a bounty, or somebody had came by and said that there was a bounty on.
These rumors start, and maybe there's some truth to them. We don't know. When Suge Knight was right after at the period of time when this all took place in Vegas, right around that period of time, Suge Knight thought that he had contracts out on his life. So these guys may imagine that it's happening, or maybe they are being told it's happening, or maybe it's true that it's happening. So there's no way to know.
Okay.
Unless people that are involved in it come forward and say, yeah, I'm the one that placed that bounty on him, and it's true. So.
Yeah.
And that Monday, someone got shot 7 times?
Yeah, one of our little homies.
And what was, that was the first thing to let you guys know that it was about to go down?
Yeah. We went back.
Sorry, what?
Southside went back. Believe that. You know that.
Sure.
Yeah. They lost the war. Believe that.
Okay.
Only one person died from our neighborhood. Like 3 or 4 of them died from their neighborhood.
All right. So you said that Suge left town during the war?
Yeah, he did. He left town during the war. He said he was in Belize, I don't fucking where, Bahamas or something. But after the war, jumped off and shit, and they took everybody to jail.
Okay. So, you guys were stalking his house, looking for him, right?
Yeah.
What happened with that?
He never came.
And who'd you guys have doing it? Not their names, but
Couple of little white dudes.
They were from your hood?
That I knew. Yeah. Couple of little white dudes.
And Suge was never there or anything?
Never there. Never.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you guys get raided at one point, and Orlando gets caught and arrested at a raid in Compton?
No, the next day, after I met the Colombian at the gas station, I go on my street, the 4 o'clock shift come on, and the captain of fucking Compton Police is Reggie Wright Sr. He comes up, flying up my street, running the stop sign in the police car. So we see this motherfucker. That's when they came to key remote entry back that was like in 96. That's when they just started that shit. So you could lock the door real quick. So we threw all my guns in my truck, locked the door on, he jumped out. Keefe D, let me tell you something, motherfucker. Like, what? The shit coming off. Kill your motherfucking ass, you fuck with my son, motherfucker. You kill my son, it's on, bitch. Like, what? What the fuck is you talking about? Fuck you. He like, I'm just telling you, motherfucker. Like, damn, this is Compton Police. Then 2 hours later, here come his little fucking sidekicks from his neighborhood. They come raid our house, took all our fucking guns. Done right, man. And people just think we some wimps. We even had the fucking mayor against us. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? And they ain't had no fucking evidence of none of that bullshit. Nothing happened. So that's wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Reached out to Zip?
What's that?
You reached out to Zip?
About what?
To help you guys with some money and some guns?
Yeah. I reached out to him and told him tell dude to send us some papers so we can get us some more guns. But my Colombian partners, they came through for us. Yeah, but that's wrong what they was doing, man. We was in the wrong city, but some police that I went to school with pulled me over, and I had 245s on me. They like, it ain't even about this dude, you know what I'm saying? We Crips and all that, y'all need to stay y'all ass out of Compton. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't with that bullshit. Yeah.
And then you had a meeting.
What's that?
You had a meeting about the war or about everything?
What did you say?
What
What happened at the meeting?
I just was saying, I shouldn't have ever did that. You know what I'm saying? So there was some snakes and they were listening, and they took that shit back down to the 5-0, you know what I'm saying? Should have never said that. Should have never gave that meeting. You know what I'm saying? I made some mistakes, you know. I ain't gonna say I was perfect, but I made some mistakes. And I did a lot of good too for people, you know. Shit. Matter of fact, I did good for sure. Shit, he know.
And so they raided you guys after the meeting?
What's that?
They raided you guys?
I made some mistakes. And I did a lot of good too for people, you know. Shit. Matter of fact, I did good for sure. Shit, he know.
And so they raided you guys after the meeting?
What's that?
They raided you guys after the meeting?
Yeah, they did a big sweep on both our neighborhoods. Took everybody to jail and stuff like that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at one point, I believe around October, Orlando gets arrested.
Yeah.
It's for the Tupac plus another murder he was being investigated for. And they brought him in there for that?
They just did a raid on everybody in our neighborhood that was from our neighborhood.
And were they stressing him about the Tupac situation?
This what happened, this dude, the grease man, that night, the grease man came, knocked on my door about 3:30, 4:30, and about 3, 4 in the morning. Knocked on my door. He said, Keefe D, there's a fucking sheriff bus at the fucking donut shop. Gang of FBI agents and sheriffs and shit up there. I don't know what's going on. I told him, hold on, let me get my shit. So I got my shoes and my shirt. I just ran and jumped in the truck with him. I left my car and everything. 5 minutes later, they was doing that Tupac raid. So after that was so they let everybody go on both sides. Everybody that had something, they filed a case against them. You know what I'm saying? But everybody that had something that in their possession or at their house, they filed the cases against them. And I got away.
Okay, so at one point, Orlando actually gets arrested for the Tupac murder.
No, he didn't. He never got arrested for the Tupac murder. He was detained to be questioned about the murder of a guy named Elder Webb. But he made the comment about, hey, does this have something to do with Vegas? But they never interrogated him regarding the Las Vegas shooting. And he was never officially arrested and charged with anything regarding Tupac.
So at this point, you know, the rumors are going around. Everybody kind of knows or thinks Orlando's done it. There's books about it. Does he start to get a complex in public and start to think that people are recognizing him?
No, we ain't worried about nobody recognizing us. You
Not
know?
like that. Not like in like they're gonna get him type of way. But he's kind of famous at this point. He's did interviews. He's been on TV denying he had anything to do with it. And so he's kind of famous. And a lot of people think he did it. Does anybody does he have a complex about people looking at him thinking that he killed Tupac or anything?
No. I know ain't a sucker. Yeah, we're different kind of animals, dude. We ain't get here. We live this shit, homie. You know?
I hear you.
Yeah. That's why y'all wouldn't understand. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. I'm just telling. This is what I read.
That's some bullshit.
That he
Don't believe everything you read, homie.
That's why we're asking.
Yeah. We ain't got no suckers. People get sucked with complex. This new shit they got going on. Talking about anxiety. What the fuck?
Not like
you know what I'm saying?
Not like
that's some new shit, especially for the black community. You get no fucking anxiety. We don't have that, homie. You know.
This ninja crashed out.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah. We live this shit, homie. You can get killed for fucking a second out there in Compton, homie. You know, drop of a dime. So, you know, we ready for that type of shit, homie. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So, he was talking about this with a lot of people. Is that right?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, because we like peanut butter and jelly, homie.
All right.
Yeah. We was like peanut butter and jelly.
Did you ever feel like when you were out, like people were like, yo, that's the guy that everybody's saying killed Tupac or anything? No. Nobody ever gave you that feeling or anything? Like famous? No? All right. So yeah, at one point you get a call from Orlando, and he wants you to bring 2 guns with you to meet up with Reggie and Suge and everybody.
The dude, Edie Vaughn, Lane called me at his office. Said, bring two guys up here. Yeah? Like, yeah. So we can, Lane called me at his office. Said, bring two guys up here. Yeah? Like, yeah.
Yeah? Like, yeah?
Lane called me at his office. Said, bring two guys up here. Yeah? Like, yeah. So we go, I go up there with the 2 guys. Get there, it's Big Shug, Reynolds, Sergeant Reynolds, and Reggie Wright. They hit us with some bread.
Okay.
Yo, just on the fact that they were there at the 60K exchange, and according to Reggie Wright Sr., if he had any idea that Orlando was planning to be a hostile witness, it was his obligation to turn them in. You know, it's just ridiculous. How could they get away with this? Bro, how could they possibly get away with this shit, B? Unbelievable. I'm talking about Suge Knight, Reggie Wright, David Kenner, Snoop Dogg, Taz, all these ninjas, Puff, all these niggas that wanted Pac assassinated on September 7th. All you ninjas, like, how the hell y'all got away with this shit, B? Like, you ninjas was there at a 60K bribe, bro. Who bribes with $60,000 to take the fall for this nonsense? Y'all do. Y'all ninjas do. Who put all that money on the table for all this nonsense? It's nonsense. All because Suge robbed Pac, and them ninjas wanted to cover it up and get rid of Pac so they could clear that audit. If Tupac had lived, bro, Death Row would have been bankrupt. It would have been bankrupt, y'all. Moving right along. Hold on, we'll get back to this.
The hospital, that's when I said we were too chilling. Hammer came and told me, he said, "No, go to the club." So we went and checked in our room, they went and checked in their room, and we all met back up downstairs, waiting for all the caravan to get ready. And it was Pac on. We was down there taking pictures right before we took off. Well, I told you we went to the 662, so we in the 662 chilling. Hammer came and told me, he said, "Lo, we got to go to the hospital. Suge and them just got shot. Suge and Pac got shot." So we left and went to the hospital. And then when we got to the hospital, that's when I said we went in the back and seen the outlaws and all them. And Kadafi had that's when he told me what happened. He said, "I seen the Lo." He said, "The cold part about it is the nigga say, Lo, it was a light-skinned nigga looked something like you. Store buster." That's what Kadafi told me.
I don't know if any of them dudes was light-skinned. I don't know. I guess Keefe D ain't dark. But he gave a statement putting the gun in Orlando.
Drop comments below. According to Low MB from OFTB, Kadafi told him, he said, Low, you know the funny thing is, Low, the ninja look just like you. So we're asking questions. Like, a lot of people say, yo, that ninja Norris Anderson look just like Low MB. You got Perez. You got Mack. This shit crazy. Again, for Norris Anderson to be that shooter, he would have to have some kind of gun game, if that makes sense. The only one to me that got a gun game is this ninja Perez. And Mack. Mack robbed the bank. I don't know about Norris Anderson. I don't know, y'all. But I did this layout so we can talk about it a little bit. No puff on the replay. Let's talk about it and compare these faces and try to make sense out of this. And somebody say Kevin Gaines. We can't forget Kevin Gaines. And this is where the bullshit is with the old season. Because Kenya Ware, she's mad at Val for leaking that Sharita Knight lied and said, oh, my daughter was with Pac and Suge. Remember, Kenya Ware said, shots fired. And she got to the strip where the BMW broke down. Kenya Ware says she drove past the tape. And when she was in the tape, she called Sharita. And Sharita said, oh, I'm here with Gaines. We know that was a lie. Gaines was in Vegas on a special assignment. I was supposed to keep that quiet. Oops. So Kenya Ware, she's mad at me from the old season, but where did they get a load of this new season? I'm just waiting for YouTube to steam up. And shout out to y'all that's been following this new channel. It's been doing great. The stories is up in the thousands. We got stories that's up in the thousands. That means people are, YouTube is sending missiles out. And, look, I started from the bottom plenty of times. No puff on the replay, right? As long as you ninjas get content like Norris Anderson, Raphael Perez, David Mack on the screen, right? The truth will eventually get to those who want the truth. So, yeah, according to Sharita, she said to Kenya Ware that, look, Gaines is with me, and we all know Gaines was there in Vegas on a special assignment. Sharita Knight also lied and said not only was Gaines was with her, but she wanted to know if her daughter was okay because her daughter drove with Suge and Pac to Vegas. And we all know, according to Suge, that was a lie. So Kenya Ware lied. Kenya Ware was lied to by her bestie, Sharita. And why would Sharita have to lie? Again, this shooting, Keefe keeps saying should cop friends, and I believe Kadafi. I don't think Kadafi was delusional. I believe Kadafi when he said, "Lo, the funny thing is, the ninja looked just like you." Let's run this back real quick.
Shot Suge and Pac got shot. So we left and went to the hospital. And then when we got to the hospital, that's when I said we went in the back and seen the outlaws and all them, and Kadafi had told, that's when he told me what happened. He said, I seen the Lo. He said, the cold part about it is the nigga say, Lo, I was a light-skinned nigga looked something like you, store busting. That's what Kadafi told me.
I don't know if any of them dudes was light skinned. I don't know.
Wow. Okay, let's get back to Keefe real quick.
Buy or sell your predictions live.
21 good salute. Let's get back to Keefe.
Smartphone or your tablet where sellers are having live shows 24/7 to
So we go, I go up there with
Reggie and Suge and everybody.
Huh?
So you at one point you get a call from Orlando, and he wants you to bring 2 guns with you to meet up with Reggie and Suge and everybody.
Yeah, and the dude, Edie Vaughn, Lane called me at his office. And then, I'll bring two guys up here. Yeah. So we go, I go up there with the 2 guys. Get there, it's Big Shug, Reynolds, Sergeant Reynolds, and Reggie Wright. And they hit us with some bread.
Crazy.
No, this was for him to take the stand and say that Suge was trying to help him.
Yeah.
Okay. Was Baby Lane suing Tupac in his estate?
What's that?
Was Baby Lane suing Tupac in his estate?
I went to the feds, man, right after that shit happened. So, I wasn't really in the loop.
So Suge's in jail, and this is over.
This is where Reggie, oink oink, this is where he lies. This is why they need to be indicted. I don't know how they getting away and how he's so confident that he will get away. This is where Reggie is a liar.
Alleged.
I went to the feds, man, right after that shit happened. So, I wasn't really in the loop.
So Suge's in jail, and this is over the alleged kick that did or didn't happen during the Orlando Anderson. And you guys are trying to get Orlando to say that he didn't kick him. You met up with Orlando. How'd all that happen?
Well, the attorneys mainly set it up. David Kenner in defense was like, hey. He followed them and reached out to him, said, hey, they about to file this lawsuit against, Death Row.
So Orlando was about to sue Death Row over getting jumped.
Getting jumped. He's an assault victim. Why to this day he didn't sue MGM, I don't know. That's who I would have went after. But he was supposed to sue the MGM. I don't know if he did or didn't. But
Yo, this is all a lie. This is all made up.
well, the attorneys mainly set it up. David Kenner in defense was like, hey. He followed them and reached out to him, said, hey, they about to file this lawsuit against, Death Row.
So Orlando was about to sue Death Row over getting jumped.
Getting jumped. He's an assault victim. Why to this day he didn't sue MGM, I don't know.
Remember, Reggie's dad, oink oink, Pork Butt's father, Reggie Wright Sr. said, if he had any idea that the 60K exchange was going to go down, no puff on the replay, he was obligated to tell the DA, right? But instead, they broke the law. That's why I believe like they all was in cahoots. Why would Suge give this ninja anything? Anything? That shit don't make no sense. 60K?
Well, the attorneys mainly set it up. David Kenner in defense was like, hey. He followed them and reached out to him, said, hey, they about to file this lawsuit against, Death Row.
So Orlando was about to sue Death Row over getting jumped.
Getting jumped. He's an assault victim. Why to this day he didn't sue MGM, I don't know. That's who I would have went after. But he was supposed to sue the MGM. I don't know if he did or didn't, but he was definitely about to sue Death Row. and Tupac.
This don't make no sense. This is Vegas key witness who had an idea that there was a bribe going on.
Death Row.
So Orlando was about to sue Death Row over getting jumped.
Getting jumped. He's an assault victim. Why to this day he didn't sue MGM, I don't know. That's who I would have went after. But he was supposed to sue the MGM. I don't know if he did or didn't, but he was definitely about to sue Death Row and Tupac. And so David Kenner was like, hey, let's go meet with him and let's try to get this worked out. So that's when we went and talked to him and was like, okay.
You heard? This is Vegas key witness saying this is when we went. But wait a minute, did you tell the DA that he's planning to be a hostile witness?
But he was supposed to sue the MGM. I don't know if he did or didn't, but he was definitely about to sue Death Row and Tupac. And so David Kenner was like, hey, let's go meet with him and let's try to get this worked out. So that's when we went and talked to him and was like, okay, we need this to go away. Because Suge's in jail now. And every newspaper article, every time you're on TV, they talking about this. We need Suge out. What can we do to get him out? Because as you can see, Suge was really trying to save you. He was trying to get people off you. Because that was Suge's initial intent was. Trying to get people off Orlando. Like, hey, not here. We can't be doing this here, because Suge worked those clubs and knew Vegas. He knew his cameras all over that motherfucker. Can't do here. But Orlando was holding on to his leg and kept pulling on his leg.
And that was a lie. Now Orlando was pulling on. Now this guy was pulling on Suge's leg. I ain't even see that. And Reggie Wright Jr., you was not there. Did you tell the DA that? Right? A lot of the shit is like, again, the fact that Reggie wants to take the blame for being there at the 60K exchange, and he's Vegas key witness who was there at a bribe is funny business. Is that real justice? Is that real justice? This guy, Reggie Wright Jr., he's Vegas key witness in the Pac case, but he was there at a 60K exchange. He wants to be there so bad. We're going to put him and his father because according to Keefe D, it was Reggie Sr., not Jr., right?
They knew they go away because Suge's in jail now. And every newspaper article, every time you're on TV, they talking about this. We need Suge out.
But wait a minute, Suge wasn't in jail. He was at the 60K exchange. Suge can't be at two places at one time. Oink, oink.
And so David Kenner was like, hey, let's go meet with him. And I don't know if he did or didn't. He followed them and reached out to him, said, hey, about to file this lawsuit against, Death Row.
So Orlando was about to sue Death Row over getting jumped.
Getting jumped. He's an assault victim. Why to this day he didn't sue MGM, I don't know. That's who I would have went after. But he was supposed to sue the MGM. I don't know if he did or didn't, but he was definitely about to sue Death Row and Tupac. And so David Kenner was like, hey, let's go meet with him and let's try to get this worked out. So that's when we went and talked to him and was like, okay, we need this to go away. Because Suge's in jail now. And every newspaper article, every time you're on...
You're a liar. You're a bold-faced liar, bro. You were a bold-faced liar in my first season, and you're a bold-faced liar in my new season.
We went and talked to him and was like... But he was supposed to sue the MGM. I don't know if he did or didn't, but he was definitely about to sue Death Row and Tupac. And so David Kenner was like, hey, let's go meet with him and let's try to get this worked out. So that's when we went and talked to him and was like, okay, we need this to go away. Because Suge's in jail now. And in every newspaper article, every time you're on TV, they talking about this. We need Suge Howard.
This guy's a liar, bro. Seriously.
Because as you can see, Suge was really trying to save you. He was trying to get people off you. Because that was Suge's initial intent was. Trying to get people off Orlando. Like, hey, not here. Can't be doing this here, you know, because Suge worked those clubs and knew Vegas. He knew his cameras all over that motherfucker. Can't do it.
So let me guess. This ninja had no idea that, the pork butt. Reggie White Jr. had no idea that Keefe D already said Suge was there. Oh my gosh. Do y'all see this live? He thinks he's under the impression Keefe D didn't say Suge was there.
Really trying to save you. He was trying to get, I don't know if he did or didn't, but he was definitely about to sue Death Row and Tupac. And so David Kenner was like, hey, let's go meet with him and was trying to get this worked out. So that's when we went and talked to him and was like, okay, we need this to go away. Because Suge's in jail now.
Ninja said because Suge's in jail now. Oh, Lord have mercy.
We went and talked to him and was like, okay, we need this to go away. Because Suge's in jail now. And every newspaper article, every time you're on TV, they talking about this. We need Suge Howard. What can we do to get him out? Because as you can see, Suge was really trying to save you. He was trying to get people off you. Because that was Suge's initial intent was. Trying to get people off Orlando. Like, hey, not here. Can't be doing this here, you know, because Suge worked those clubs and knew Vegas. He knew his cameras all over that motherfucker. Can't do here. But Orlando was holding onto his leg and kept pulling on his leg. And at the end, he was like, nigga, get off me. And kicked him. And that's what, you know, Suge ended up getting violated for 9 years of probation violation.
For one little kick.
Yep.
And then, so you guys ended up, Orlando came in and testified for sure?
Yeah, so Orlando came in, and so we convinced them and had him to agree. I think he agreed that Suge was really trying to save him and not hurt him. And he came and testified to that fact. Now, Keefe D make it seem like they got paid right there on the spot. No. It happened down the line.
What a liar.
They what?
The estate, the Tupac estate in the panel.
The ninja said the Tupac estate paid a ransom, paid a bribe off. This is your Vegas key witness.
For sure.
Yeah, so Orlando came in, and so we convinced them and had him to agree. I think he agreed that Suge was really trying to save him and not hurt him. And he came and testified to that fact. Now, Keefe D make it seem like they got paid right there on the spot. It happened down the line. I think the estate ended up paying him.
Ninja said the estate.
The Tupac estate ended up paying him.
Oh.
Yeah, I forget who it was, if it was the estate or Death Row, but it all was agreed upon by Afeni's attorneys.
Wow. Ninja threw Mama Afeni Shakur with the $60K bribe. That's dangerous. That's what kind of man y'all got as Vegas key witness.
It happened down the line. They them and had him to agree. I think he agreed that Suge was really trying to save him and not hurt him. And he came and testified to that fact. Now, Keefe D make it seem like they got paid right there on the spot. It happened down the line. I think the estate ended up paying him.
They what?
The estate, the Tupac estate ended up paying him.
Oh.
Yeah, I forget who it was, if it was the estate or Death Row, but it all was agreed upon by Afeni's attorneys and our attorneys as well.
So this was part of the settlement, too?
Settlement. Yeah. See, that's what everybody thinks. It was like here's $60,000 to come and testify. No, nigga, we ain't give you $6,000 to come and testify. They
Bro, this ninja's a liar, bro.
$6,000 to drop it. Yeah. See, that's what everybody thinks. It was like, here's $60,000 to come and testify. No, nigga, we ain't give you $6,000 to come and testify. They gave $6,000 to drop everything. Because if you would have sued Tupac for that assault, come on. How much would y'all ask for if Tupac assaulted y'all back then?
I know people, yeah.
Yeah. People waiting for that to hit me.
People would have been lined up. Stomp me out.
Yeah, stomp me out. I'll take that ass whooping for
Yeah, it's true.
That's when they settled the 60,000, because Orlando was filing $1 million lawsuit against Tupac, and the 60,000 was part of that settlement.
No, hell no.
Keefe said no. Hell's no.
Lawyer's office?
That's when they settled the 60,000, because Orlando was filing $1 million lawsuit against Tupac, and the 60,000 was part of that settlement.
No, hell no. That we met at that lawyer's office? Hell no. I was just to say he didn't get them. It had nothing to do with that, dude. Nothing to do with that. This was all cash money, dude. No checks or none of this shit.
Alright.
Had nothing to do with no fucking settlement, no lawsuit, or none of that shit. Just some street shit, dude.
Niggas, Keefe said it was some street shit, dude. Crazy.
I need to stay energized.
Crazy. Nasty work.
It's still, that's still, definitely.
Let's take it to Reggie Wright Sr. about the 60K. Because I can't believe these guys are really like, they see victory, that they got away with it.
Kids were involved in it.
Okay,
They
so
don't tell us.
we're not working with Comptonpedia.
It's hard. And so we were finally, matter of fact, I think at one point we were pursuing him for a hop involved. And when I found out,
Okay. And did you have an issue with that? Because, like you just said, half the guys that Suge had around him
wanted him to be aware so he can watch his back. If not the founder, one of the main ones that started the mob pyros.
Well, Death Row Forms, they put out Dr. Dre's The Chronic, which goes multi-platinum. So you have this huge hit, with people that are coming out of Compton. And Suge is now heavily involved in it. Now, you met up with Suge at one point and said that some Mob Piru guys were going to, kidnap him or rob him or something?
Well, I had gotten some information, that some of the mob guys he was, trying to hire or work with him in Death Row. We're going to eventually kidnap him and rob him. So I had gotten that information, and by, knowing the guy, knowing he wasn't no hard guy, I wanted him to be aware so he can watch his back. And I did meet up with him to more or less say, you need to watch who your guys are around you, because, if they don't feel as though they gonna get enough money out of yourself, they gonna rob you. That's what the word is. And that's when we met and we discussed that. And he took heed to it.
Okay.
He took heed because he offered me to be a security. And that's when I told him, half the guys that you run around with, I'm working cases on them.
Okay.
That's how they went.
And is that when your son, Reggie Wright Jr., kind of stepped in and filled that role?
Eventually, he got with Suge because, he grew up with Suge and stuff. And Reggie had started his business, security business, because he had retired from the police department because of an injury, and he was setting up his security business. And then he and Suge finally talked, and then Suge hired him, as a security, and it went from there.
Okay. And did you have an issue with that? Because, like you just said, half the guys that Suge had around him, you were working cases on them. Now your son is now in bed with these guys.
Not necessarily in bed with them, because you have to know the situation to understand the involvement. Suge getting highly recognized and making a lot of money and stuff in the hood, if you follow that type of stuff, you can't make money in the hood and not take care of the shot callers in the hood. You got to ingratiate them some kind of way. So that's what Suge was doing. But what Suge wanted to do and knew he had to do was get some security around him that was sort of licensed and actually security, not just my little hit crew. So that's why he wanted to get regular cops involved. And that's how Reggie got involved. And when I found out that Reggie was actually doing some video shoots as security for sure, naturally I had that conversation with him. Hey man, you know, I don't think this is a good thing, because he was still regular police. And he was using competent police officers, young ones, to work on those details. And the chief wasn't aware of it. You know, all of a sudden that started getting ugly, the conflict there. So naturally, I didn't particularly care for him to do it. But shoot, he was 35, 40 years old at the time starting a business. So I didn't get involved with him. I just told him he just need to be careful. So they were like, how would you say, the Death Row Security, it was Right Way Security was the name of his agency. They were like, I always referred to like the legal security, and then you had your gang entourage.
Right, Mob James was the one that came in and brought basically the street security, all the Mob Pyru guys and so forth.
There you go.
Okay.
He was one of the main ones, not necessarily the main one.
Yeah. And were you hearing about violent incidents coming out of death row? You know, people getting beat up and everything else like that? Or was that really more within Reggie's sort of circumference?
No. Well, these were things Suge and his little, like you say, street security were doing. But all that never came to the police attention. You understand what I'm saying? I had some incidents that happened involving the violence within the pop group that I had to deal with. That's basically what I was talking about when I said to Suge, there's a lot of guys that I'm working murder cases and robbery cases, you know, that eventually if I get enough information, I'm putting them in jail and did. Subsequently put a lot of them in it. So it was kind of, but I was saying about getting back to the police officers involvement, Reggie specifically, they kind of looked at it as they were the legal security or the certain, how would you say it? The certified one, the license. I think that was the best way to go with it earlier, the license security.
And were you yourself going to any death row functions or anything?
Oh, heck no. Not unless I was going there to arrest one of them or just surveil.
Okay.
Because like I said,
so,
those guys...
Were you having to do that? Arrest or surveil death row entourage members?
Oh, of course. I mean, a death row employee, I would say.
Death row employees,
and it subsequently arrested some of them for different things unrelated to death row activities. Just these cats would be around death row and all, but they still was into their own shenanigans, you know, that I had to deal with.
Yeah. Well, by 1995, DJ Quick and MC8 started to beef with each other. And that was like, I feel like one of the first high-profile Compton beefs, like rap beefs. That was side guys jumping.
I'm a huge fan of Nutrafol. They've got a great deal.
Mob Pyru affiliated.
Yeah, by himself at
the mall. Did you know about this incident, or was it just not a big deal?
I heard about it.
At the time.
It came to my attention after it happened because, you know, word came back to the hood. And then I had informants within the hood that would tell me what was going on. So they told about, the way I heard it, was that they snatched the chain away from him because the East Coast, Puff Daddy and them, they had put a bounty or something on the chain, because the chain was worth, I don't know, a couple of $1,000 or something like that, that there was money supposed to put on that anybody who brings a death row chain, they would get paid this. And I heard that was the reason why, a motivation for Orlando Anderson, who was part of that Southside group, took the or attempted to take. I'm like you, I'm not sure if they got it or not.
So tell me about Orlando Anderson. At what point did Orlando get on your radar?
He got on my radar right after that incident, basically, because he had started claiming Southside, and him and little Al, Michael DeRoy and them, who I knew Michael since he was a baby, they started doing little things in the hood and stuff. And he stood out as a gangster. And so we were finally, matter of fact, I think at one point we were pursuing him for a homicide or attempt homicide or something that occurred in hood. So that's when he was really on our radar.
So then Las Vegas. And you were actually in Las Vegas during the Tupac incident and the Tyson fight. But you were actually...
Can I cuss? Hell no.
What, you were physically in... You were at the event, but were you in Vegas at all or no?
I
No?
was nowhere in
Okay. So
but
let me start.
I'm reacting to that because I've heard some podcasts and people swearing up and down I was there and I kicked and I was securing somebody. I was at home.
Okay. So we have that rumor filled out. Okay. Well, your son was in Las Vegas.
Yes.
When this was happening.
He was
So Tupac and the Death Row entourage were in Las Vegas to watch the Tyson fight. We interviewed Mike Tyson, and Mike had actually begged Tupac to come down to watch the fight because they've done a song for him that he was going to come out to and everything else like that.
I feel a little guilty about him coming to the fight, me pressuring him, bring the tape, don't forget the tape, And I was going to go out with him that night. I promised to go to 662 with him that night, but I just had a little baby. My mother was provoked me to stay home, so I stayed with the baby. And someone called me that night and told me that happened. And this is just what we do. I come to my senses, I come to my objectivity, and I know who I am. I know what my element's about. In my world, this is what happens in my world. This is what happens in my world. That was part of my world. My world, this happens. But just because it was Tupac and I was attached to it, it was different. But normally, this is what I would expect somebody to die after a fight, or somebody get hurt, something crazy happened. But when it happened to him, it was different.
After the fight, they're in the MGM lobby. They see Orlando Anderson. Trayvon tells the people around her, hey, that's one of the guys that jumped me.
And Tupac, right?
Yeah, told that to Tupac. Tupac made a beeline right to Orlando, ran up to him, punched him, at which point Suge and Buntree and all these other guys jumped in, started stomping out Orlando. And then they leave. Hour later, based on my interview with Keefe D, they went and got a bunch of guns, started driving around, looking for Tupac. They go to Club 662. He's not there. I think Mob James was there.
So I think Buntree or somebody saw him.
Saw him, yeah. Saw, say, hey, these guys are in the parking lot and so forth. So, let everyone know. And then they end up running into the car with Tupac and Suge. Someone in the car opens fire. They say it's Orlando, and Tupac gets killed. Now, in this car was 4 people, the car that did the shooting. It was Keefe D, Orlando Anderson, Terrence Brown, a.k.a. Bubble Up, and DeAndre Smith, a.k.a. Big Andre. You already knew about Orlando. Keefe D didn't really know about, though, from what I understand.
No, I really didn't have that much because he was a dope man. He wasn't no gang man. And I didn't deal with dope that much at all. Just only when they crossed the gang investigation, basically.
Okay. What about Terrence Brown?
Knew of him, yes.
Okay, and what was he known for?
A Southside Crip or rider. Involved, wouldn't mind doing some shooting, putting some work in.
Okay.
He, Dre, and Orlando.
And DeAndre Smith, did you know?
Yeah, that's Dre.
Dre, okay.
That's Dre.
Okay. And he known for?
He was a writer, but I used to call him Orlando's bodyguard. Because Dre was Big Dre, he was big. I knew his father and everything since he was young. But he's a big dude, but he was hard. But I knew him through Orlando because things were going on that they were doing aside from that incident that we're talking about.
Right. And DeAndre Smith ended up dying from a heart attack in 2004.
Yeah.
Terrence Brown ended up getting killed in a dispensary in 2019.
About that.
And of course, Orlando Anderson gets killed. So the only person that's still alive in that car is Keefe D. When it happened, at that point, no one really knew, no one had any information like right after the shooting happened. But you have all these ties into all these different gang members in Compton. And did you actually have informants and so forth that were working for you at the time?
Yeah, well, Reggie called me a couple hours after the shooting occurred. They were at the scene and he went to the hospital. And he called me. I was at home, sleep, not in Vegas. And Reggie called me and said, hey, Tupac and Suge just got shot. And then he told me he thought Tupac was dead. And he said Suge was okay. He had got grazed. And they investigated it all. And then he told me basically who he had believed or was hearing was involved, because he wasn't there at the shooting. Yeah. He was told me it was something and why, how it happened, and they were in the car and all that. So we admitted that the next day, what the information Reggie was giving me.
Okay.
I thought, they were at the scene and Reggie went to the hospital and he called me. I was at home, sleep, not in Vegas. And Reggie called me and said, hey, Dad, Tupac and just got shot. And then he told me he thought Tupac was dead. And he said Suge was okay. He had got grazed. And they investigated it all. And then he told me basically who he had believed or was hearing was involved, because he wasn't there at the shooting. Yeah. He was told me it was Southside and why, how it happened, and they were in the car and all that. So we immediately started investigating that the next day. What the information Reggie was giving me.
Okay.
I tried to get the information to Las Vegas PD, as Reggie was telling me. But when they heard the name Reginald Wright.
These nachos are perfect for...
Knowing from the scene, there was a security Reginald Wright at the scene, former Compton PD. They conflated that. They came up with that was me. And so when I was calling to try to give them information, they didn't want to deal with me. Huh. So, and on, when it got deeper, we started having shootings the next day between Mob and Looters and Southside. Eventually, we had to start investigating that, but the chief took me off the case because of the conflict. Because,
Right. Well, because a war basically broke out in Compton right after.
Definitely.
How many people got shot?
Within the 3 days after the shooting, I think we had at least 3 or 4 Luther Park, Piru shot. Well, more shot. But I think we had 2 or 3 homicides behind it.
Wow.
And then over in Southside, we had a couple incidents there that we had to investigate. Yeah, naturally, but they were shootings because of that shooting.
Okay. Well, what were your informants telling you in terms of what happened in Vegas?
Basically, what you had aforementioned in the scenario of how it happened.
Yeah.
That was the basis for it, because sets knew who the players were in the shooting. They knew it was Southside that did the shooting. So naturally, the retaliation is going to start going. So I think the Bloods started it in the morning, because I think they ended up shooting Darnell Brim and a female coming out of a store. And then from there, they retaliated because of that and went and shot a couple of Bloods, and it was on.
Okay. And Keefe D said that you actually approached him and some other people and basically warned him about, your son being a target in this whole war that was breaking out.
Well, exactly what happened, contrary to what Keefe D said, exactly what happened is, as I say, the chief pulled me off of leading the investigation and put my sergeant, Bobby Baker, in charge of investigating all the shootings as a result of the shooting in Vegas. So I was upstairs working, but I still was getting information in the streets about what was happening. And word came out that they were going to shoot. Reggie as part of the back and forth. And Southsiders were after him. Well, I took that personally. And I jumped in the car. It wasn't even no, it was my black, well, it wasn't a patrol car or anything. And I went straight to Keefe D's house, his mother's house, actually, because I knew the family. I knew them before. That's another way I knew Keefe D. He was smaller and younger when I worked for the Edison Company. I knew his mom real well because I used to had the deal over there. And so, with Edison, you know, and so I knew him. So I went because I knew, I forget Keefe D's brother name, who was a little harder than Keefe D. And Orlando was still out. So I didn't want them targeting Reggie. So I deliberately went there, knowing the family, and went to the house. When I drove up there, at the house and parked, and he said, the only thing he said right was, I parked on the wrong side of the street and jumped out the car. I did, because I wanted to get to the family, let them know they were gonna have to go through me if anything happened to my son. And I remember 3 or 4 guys hanging out in the front of the house, but I paid them no attention. None of them were Orlando, who I knew. Keefe D, I didn't know him from Adam. You know, I knew of him, but I don't remember what he looked like. I don't even remember if he was in the crowd. And I went in the house and I talked with, I believe his sister or something, Orlando's mother, I think was in the house at the time, but it was a female. And I blurted out about if anybody come after Reggie or targeting Reggie, they have to go through me. And, you know, say my little piece, turn around and I left. Now going out, I did say something to somebody out, but I'm not knowing who it was. It wasn't any of the main guys that I know. And Keefe D could have been one of them. But I didn't know it was Keefe D and threaten him or nothing. I just got in my car and I left. And that's the way it happened.
Well, in his book, he said that right when they got back to Compton after the Vegas shooting, he said Compton's dirtiest, Sergeant Reynolds and his crew, came into our houses. And I guess they had all these crates of guns from Army surplus they'd got the 92 riots. They basically, all these guns got cleared out. Do you know about this at all?
I wasn't directly involved in that. I was getting information back from my sergeant as I needed to know. But the contents of the raid, because I think we conducted raids on about 10 locations, if not more, of both sets. And they confiscated a lot of guns from different locations. So to say exactly what was confiscated, now Fred Reynolds was probably on the unit that went to Keefe D's mother's house, you know, their house. So that's why he talks about Reynolds a lot. But Reynolds was part of the detail of some 50 cops that was involved in the raid.
Right. Keefe also says something else. He said he made a crucial mistake. He said he threw a big meeting for the neighborhood at a park in Cerritos. All the homies showed up. I did all the talking, and the feds knew everything that I said to them because there were some informants among us. Should have never done that. That's they got the idea that I had a leadership role within the set, which caused the feds to start following me around everywhere I went.
I wasn't directly involved in that. I was getting information back from my sergeant as I needed to know. The contents of the raid, because I think we conducted raid Keefe D and threatened him or nothing. I just got out and I left. And that's the way it happened.
Well, in his book, Keefe said that right when they got back to Compton after the Vegas shooting, he said Compton's dirtiest, Sergeant Reynolds and his crew, came and raided our houses. And I guess they had all these crates of guns from Army surplus they'd got the 92 riots. They basically, all these guns got cleared out. Do you know about this at all?
I wasn't directly involved in that. Information back from my sergeant as I needed to know. But the contents of the raid, because I think we conducted raids on about 10 locations, if not more, of both sets. And they confiscated a lot of guns and stuff from different locations. So to say exactly what was confiscated, now Fred Reynolds was probably on the unit that went to Keefe D's mother's house, you know, their house. So that's why he talks about Reynolds a lot. But Reynolds was part of the detail of some 50 cops that was involved in the rig.
Right. Keefe also says something else. He said he made a crucial mistake. He said he threw a big meeting for the neighborhood as head of his security, you know, right-way security. But then on the other side of LA, there was David Mack and Raphael Perez, who were part of the crash unit, was it?
I think they were part of the crash. They were LAPD.
They're LAPD.
And I think they were part of the crash. I really don't know.
And they're rumored to be members of the Bloods themselves, and ultimately they end up going to prison over bank robbery charges and so forth.
Yeah, they were crooks, but they weren't Bloods that I know associated with any particular gang set.
Did you know them at all?
No, I didn't know until all that started coming out about the bank. And then when the other one, Gaines, got shot, you know, with the road rage thing with another LAPD officer, that's when I started knowing of them.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Got it. Okay, well, Orlando Anderson actually got paid off by Suge. He got paid like $60,000 to try to testify on his behalf.
I heard about that.
And then once that happened, sort of like everything started to kind of die down a little bit because people felt like they got some money out of it and so forth. Did you see things start to die down after a little while?
A little. I didn't attribute it to that because I wasn't aware of that agreement and them, Suge and them soliciting Anderson. Because if I would have been aware that that was going down, I would have and had an obligation to notify the DA's office, you know, that this was what's happening so they can expect Orlando to show up to be a hostile witness for the prosecution. I didn't hear about all that until kind of like that went down when Orlando showed up to testify.
But you were there.
Been aware that that was going down, I would have and had an obligation to notify the DA's office, you know, that this was what's happening so they can expect Orlando to show up to be a hostile witness for the prosecution. I didn't hear about all that until kind of like that went down when Orlando showed up to testify.
Got it. And were you seeing Orlando in the neighborhood at all, or was he just laying low and not?
Ridiculous.
Did they ever find out who did that or any?
Shit like that.
So this is the famous Lakewood incident. And you guys went to the liquor store to get some bottles and stuff. Anything to you before they was about to leave? Or?
They was like, they finna be at the Beverly Hilton. Come up there and smoke some weed, have a little party. Shit, like, we cool. We be up there.
Oh, like who?
Yeah, hell no, that been that dude. Day one, he said that shit. Keefe D nephew.
Huh.
He sicked the police on us the first fucking day. So, yeah, as I said, I met the Colombian that morning when we whipped out the newspaper all the time and say Keefe D nephew. On there, he like, man, you tripping.
Yeah.
Y'all going to jail. I'm out of here. And he just left me his little workers. So that kind of damaged my thing. So later on that evening, that Monday, about 4 o'clock, about 4:15, Reggie Wright Sr., he comes straight to my fucking house. He off of Greenleaf, ran the stop sign and everything, doing about 70 miles per hour. Jumped out. He like, hey, motherfucker, let me tell you something, motherfucker. I'm like, what? He like, well, when you kill my son, I'm going to get your motherfucking ass. Ooh. I'm like, man, fuck you. He like, I'm just telling you, motherfucker. I'm like, man, fuck you. Get your punk ass out of here. What the fuck you talking about? He like, I'm just telling you. So maybe about 3 weeks later, my nephew gave me a call and said, meet me at Edie Fall's office, the lawyer's office, and bring 2 straps. So I get there, it's Suge, Reggie Sr., and Sergeant Reynolds. They up there. So I get there, it's Suge, Reggie Sr., and Sergeant Reynolds. They up there. He gave us $60,000. Meet me at Edie Fall's office, the lawyer's office. Look at that. like, man, fuck you. He like, I'm just telling you, motherfucker. I'm like, man, fuck you. Get your punk ass out of here. What the fuck you talking about? He like, I'm just telling you. So maybe about 3 weeks later, my nephew give me a call and say, meet me at Edie Fall's office, the lawyer's office, and bring 2 straps. So I get there, it's Suge, Edgy Sr., and Sergeant Reynolds. They're there, and they gave us $60,000. She Lane didn't testifies saying Lane didn't kick the dude.
So why were they up there?
To protect Suge, I guess. That was his motherfucking evidence, I guess. I don't know.
Do you feel like they was kind of like the whole Compton PD kind of was working
on their payroll? Yeah, man. That dude, what's that motherfucker name? I was at MDC with him. His name is David Mack. This motherfucker was in a protected custody cell.
Yeah.
The morning that the feds did the raid on us, I took 70 of us to jail.
Yeah.
He was in a protected custody cell. Talking about, what up, Keefe D? What up, Keefe D?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? And I didn't even know who the fuck the motherfucker was. Once the marshals got on that elevator with us, they told me who that motherfucker was.
Yeah, he's the guy that robbed the bank, right?
Yeah.
The police officer.
One of the Suge boys, yeah.
So you Baby Lane ends up taking his 60 grand, tells him that, Suge didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
And the judge still says,
I can see it's obvious that yes, I'm getting on here.
So at this point, has Puffy ever called you to say, hey, was that all, on the Tupac thing, or, did he ever call you?
I ain't answer that either. Big dog, say something for the book, my guy.
All right, so let's talk about Biggie. You mentioned that, you